Ocean's 11 wasn't just a heist film, it was Hollywood's smoothest con job, selling audiences pure style disguised as substance. A remake nobody asked for that somehow became the blueprint every ensemble film still copies. These are the 19 hidden details in Ocean's 11 you completely missed. Number 19. Ted Griffin's screenplay arrived at Warner Brothers like a promise half kept. Studio executives loved the concept and structure, but Steven Soderbergh knew the truth before cameras rolled. The script wasn't remotely finished. Production started anyway in Las Vegas, with fresh pages arriving daily to the Bellagio like unwanted room service. Actors rehearsed morning scenes that would be completely rewritten by afternoon call time. Soderbergh encouraged improvisation because half the dialogue remained unlocked when cameras started rolling. George Clooney admitted to Premiere Magazine he never saw a complete script until after principal photography wrapped. Elliot Gould joked to Entertainment Weekly that he learned his lines in the makeup trailer each morning. Somehow the chaos created spontaneity that made every scene feel effortlessly cool. Number 18. Brad Pitt couldn't figure out who Rusty Ryan was supposed to be beyond Danny Ocean's right hand. The script gave him actions and locations, but no distinct personality, so Pitt started eating in every take as a placeholder, something physical to anchor the character, shrimp cocktail during the poker lesson, nachos while briefing the crew, a burger while conning casino tourists. Soderbergh noticed the pattern in dailies and made it canon by ensuring food appeared in every subsequent Rusty scene. Pitt told Rolling Stone it gave him something to do with his hands during exposition-heavy dialogue. Production assistants kept snacks on standby for Pitt's improvised munching. What started as an actor filling dead space became the character's defining quirk across 3 films. Number 17. Steven Soderbergh refused to build casino sets on Warner Brothers studio lots. He wanted the Bellagio, the Mirage, and the MGM Grand with actual guests gambling real money in the background. Casino executives initially refused his requests outright, fearing production would disrupt operations and scare off high rollers. Jerry Weintraub personally negotiated access by promising minimal disruption and comprehensive insurance coverage. They filmed between 2 and 5 in the morning when foot traffic was lightest, but table games were still running. Real gamblers appear throughout the film, visibly annoyed by lighting setups invading their space. Casino security had to verify every extra because executives feared infiltration by actual thieves scouting vulnerabilities. Every frame feels authentic because it was capturing real locations with real people conducting business around the fictional heist. Number 16. George Clooney studied his father Nick Clooney, a Cincinnati broadcaster known for unflappable charm under impossible pressure. Danny Ocean's calm authority during crisis moments came directly from watching his dad handle live television chaos. Nick Clooney never panicked on camera even when teleprompters failed or guests went rogue. George borrowed that energy wholesale, playing Danny as someone who'd already thought through every disaster before it happened. The smirk, the measured pauses, the ability to make everyone feel like the plan was working, all stolen from an Ohio talk show host. Nick visited the set during production and reportedly laughed, recognizing his own mannerisms translated into a criminal mastermind. Clooney told Larry King his father had been his acting coach without knowing it for decades. Number 15. Warner Brothers paid Julia Roberts $20 million for roughly 20 minutes of screen time as Tess Ocean. At the time, it represented the highest per-minute salary ever paid to an actress in Hollywood history. Roberts had leverage after Erin Brockovich won her an Oscar, and the studio desperately wanted A-list credibility for the romantic subplot. Soderbergh later admitted to Vanity Fair that Tess was the weakest written character in the entire film. Roberts did her best with underwritten scenes that existed mainly to give Danny someone to fight for. Critics at the Los Angeles Times noted the character had no agency beyond being fought over by Danny and Benedict. Roberts collected her check and didn't return for Ocean's 12, telling friends the role wasn't worth the time commitment. Number 14. Don Cheadle created a Cockney accent so aggressively ridiculous that actual British people couldn't identify what region it was supposed to represent. Cheadle studied dialect tapes and coaching sessions, but then exaggerated everything to cartoonish levels. British cast member Lenny James told Cheadle directly it sounded like Dick Van Dyke's infamous Mary Poppins accent, widely considered one of cinema's worst dialect performances. Cheadle didn't care about accuracy or criticism. He committed fully to the caricature, reasoning that Basher was probably faking the accent anyway as part of his con artist persona. Test audiences found it charming despite its complete inaccuracy. British critics roasted the accent mercilessly when the film opened in London. Cheadle kept using it in Ocean's 12 and Ocean's 13, 2015 just to annoy purists. Number 13. Soderbergh wanted the crew watching the Bellagio fountains as their victory moment. Thieves appreciating beauty after stealing $160 million. MGM Resorts, which owned the Bellagio, initially refused to let them film at the fountains. They feared association with a heist movie would make guests nervous about security. Jerry Weintraub spent 6 months negotiating access, promising the film would portray the casino as sophisticated and impossible to rob. MGM finally agreed after Warner Brothers offered substantial product placement fees. The fountain scene was shot during one of the nightly water shows with tourists watching both the choreographed performance and the film crew. It became the movie's most iconic image, replicated in marketing materials worldwide. The Bellagio reported increased fountain tourism after release, proving MGM's gamble paid off commercially. Number 12. Carl Reiner signed on after a single phone call with Steven Soderbergh. He didn't ask about the role's size, the story's direction, or even his character's name. Reiner just wanted to work with the director after seeing Out of Sight and The Limey. Soderbergh told him he'd be playing an aging con artist posing as a wealthy European arms dealer, and Reiner said yes immediately. When the script finally arrived, Reiner loved Saul's scenes, but improvised most of his dialogue anyway during production. The bit where Saul has a fake heart attack in the casino was Reiner's suggestion, drawn from his own anxiety about aging. Reiner told The Hollywood Reporter that experience had taught him good directors matter more than good scripts. Number 11. Warner Brothers wanted Matt Damon to look younger and less threatening than his talented Mr. Ripley persona. The studio actually inserted a weight gain clause into his contract, legally requiring him to add 15 pounds before production started. Damon complied by eating excessively and avoiding his usual workout routine. The extra weight made Linus look like an eager rookie trying too hard to impress the veteran crew. Soderbergh loved how it made Damon's character physically different from Clooney's lean confidence. Visual contrast that reinforced their relationship dynamic. Damon told USA Today he hated the requirement and lost the weight immediately after filming Wrapped. By Ocean's 12, Linus looked completely different because Damon refused to gain weight again regardless of studio pressure. Jason Bourne wouldn't be pudgy, neither would Matt Damon. Number 10. The incredibly flexible contortionist who squeezed through the vault ventilation system was based on a real security consultant whose name remains withheld. He'd worked for Las Vegas casinos testing physical vulnerabilities in their architectural layouts. He demonstrated to Soderbergh's team how someone could theoretically navigate tight spaces that seemed completely impassable. The filmmakers hired Xiaobo Qin, a Chinese acrobat, to play the amazing Yen because no American actor possessed the necessary flexibility. Qin spoke minimal English during production, communicating mostly through translator and physical demonstration. His entire character was built around one skill the real consultant had shown them. The vault infiltration scene took 3 days to film in a specially constructed set at Warner Brothers' production designer Philip Messina said the sequence required precise choreography between actor and camera. Number 9. Soderbergh fired the director of photography after disagreements during pre-production and operated the camera himself under the pseudonym Peter Andrews. He'd been cinematographer on Traffic and wanted complete visual control over Ocean's 11. The Cinematographers Guild wasn't happy about a director eliminating a union position. Soderbergh argued he wasn't replacing anyone since he was performing both functions simultaneously. The handheld aesthetic and quick zooms throughout the film came from Soderbergh's personal shooting style. By production's end, they preferred it because Soderbergh could adjust shots in real time without consultation. Clooney told Charlie Rose that working with Soderbergh operating camera changed his entire approach to performance. Peter Andrews later won acclaim for cinematography on multiple Soderbergh films. Number 8. Andy Garcia refused to socialize with the cast during the 3-month Las Vegas shoot. He wanted Terry Benedict to feel like an outsider, someone the crew genuinely disliked rather than a colleague. Garcia ate meals alone, avoided the cast of poker games, and generally made himself unpleasant around the set. Clooney tried breaking the ice multiple times, and Garcia politely but firmly maintained distance. The strategy worked exactly as intended. Benedict's icy interactions with Danny feel genuinely hostile because Garcia cultivated real separation from the ensemble. After filming Wrapped, Garcia immediately became friendly, and the cast realized he'd been performing in isolation the entire time. Casey Affleck said Garcia's commitment unsettled everyone until they understood the performance choice. Number 7. The electromagnetic pulse device that knocks out the Bellagio's power grid was completely fictional, invented whole cloth for narrative convenience. Real EMPs exist, but nothing portable could generate that kind of range and precision. Technical consultant Michael Koenig told Soderbergh the entire plan was scientifically impossible from multiple angles. Soderbergh didn't care about scientific accuracy because the film prioritized style over realism. The pinch became a running joke among engineers who watched the film, cataloging everything wrong with its supposed functionality. Ocean's 11 succeeded by making impossible plans seem plausible through sheer confidence. The pinch finish was less a device and more a narrative necessity wrapped in props department creativity. Ted Griffin later admitted the entire heist wouldn't work in reality. Number 6. Original test screenings ended with Danny and Tess reconciling and walking away together in obvious coupledom. Warner Brothers executives loved it, calling it satisfying and romantic. Soderbergh hated it, arguing the ambiguity was more interesting and emotionally honest. He reshot the ending so Danny watches Tess leave, their future uncertain. The studio fought back aggressively, claiming audiences wanted clear resolution to romantic subplots. Soderbergh won by testing both versions with separate preview audiences. The ambiguous ending scored higher because it trusted viewers to imagine their own conclusion. Warner Brothers reluctantly approved Soderbergh's version. Producer Jerry Weintraub sided with Soderbergh over studio executives. By Ocean's 12, the couple was together anyway, making the whole argument retroactively pointless. Film editor Steven Mirione said the ambiguous cut felt more sophisticated. Number 5. Every major actor accepted below market rates to join the ensemble. Clooney, Pitt, Damon, and Roberts all made less than their standard quotes because Jerry Weintraub convinced them the project would be fun. The producer structured back-end deals, giving cast members percentage points instead of upfront guarantees. When the film grossed $450 million worldwide, everyone made significantly more than their usual salaries anyway. The collaborative spirit extended beyond money into production itself. Actors rewrote each other's scenes, shared trailers, and played marathon poker games between setups. That chemistry translated directly to screen. Audiences believed these criminals were genuine friends because the actors actually were. Scott Conn and Casey Affleck bonded over being the youngest cast members. Don Cheadle told GQ the set felt like summer camp with cameras. Number 4. The Bellagio Gallery of Fine Arts allowed production to film Carl Reiner's museum infiltration scene among real artwork worth millions of dollars. Security protocols required armed guards standing just off camera during every take. Insurance costs for that single scene exceeded $200,000. Reiner joked to Variety that he could have stolen a Monet easier than Saul stole casino chips. The gallery normally prohibited film productions entirely, but made an exception after MGM Resorts approved the Bellagio's overall participation. Soderbergh shot the scene documentary style, using natural museum lighting and real tourists as background extras. Art historians complained the film made museum security look incompetent. The Bellagio reported increased gallery attendance after the movie's release. Production designer Philip Messina said filming among priceless art made everyone nervous about accidental damage. Number 3. Production designer Philip Messina consulted with vault manufacturers to build a replica matching real casino security standards. The set cost $2 million and featured working biometric scanners, reinforced steel doors, and a functional money counting room. Casino security experts who visited the set were genuinely disturbed by how accurate the construction was. Some details had to be deliberately changed to avoid creating a literal blueprint for robbery. The vault's interior was designed to be claustrophobic and intimidating, making the heist feel genuinely difficult. Warner Brothers quietly destroyed the vault after production wrapped to prevent it from becoming a security liability. Messina told Production Design magazine that research into real vault security was surprisingly easy to obtain. Technical advisor Michael Koenig provided detailed specifications. Number 2. Tina Sinatra, Frank Sintara's daughter and executor of his estate, initially opposed the remake entirely. She controlled rights to the 1960 original and felt a modern version would diminish her father's legacy. Warner Brothers negotiated for months, offering her producer credit and profit participation. Tina finally agreed after seeing Soderbergh's vision and the A-list cast assemble. She visited the set and gave notes about maintaining the Rat Pack spirit of camaraderie her father's version embodied. Her approval legitimized the project as a respectful homage, rather than a cynical cash grab. When the film succeeded both critically and commercially, Tina publicly praised it to the New York Times and greenlit the sequels immediately. Jerry Weintraub credited Tina's involvement with giving the production credibility. Without her blessing, Warner Brothers couldn't have legally proceeded. Number 1. Warner Brothers gave Clooney unusual power as lead actor and de facto producer. He cold-called Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, and Julia Roberts personally, pitching the film as a chance to make a fun movie with friends. Clooney promised a loose set, collaborative atmosphere, and a director who trusted actors. Most of the cast signed on before reading the script, trusting Clooney's taste and Soderbergh's vision more than pages. The recruitment strategy created genuine ensemble energy that scripted films rarely achieve. Clooney later admitted to Esquire he sold everyone on on vibes rather than material. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Ocean's 11 launched a franchise and redefined the modern heist film template. Bernie Mac joined after one conversation with Clooney at a party. 2 decades later, Ocean's 11 remains the gold standard for cool ensemble filmmaking, a remake that somehow outclassed the original by replacing swagger with style and making theft look like art. The film proved that chemistry matters more than complexity, and that sometimes the best con is convincing A-list actors to work together for less money just to have fun. Soderbergh's Vegas Caper became a blueprint for ensemble heist films that still hasn't been matched. Which hidden detail surprised you most, and what heist film should we crack open next?